brothers and sisters, welcome to another Lord's Day. I had a video kind of already lined out for today for a Bible study. The Lord has kind of led me in a different direction because of some things that's happened in the last couple of days, and I will get to that later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. But I want to start off with scripture. This is in Matthew 5, verses 14 through 16. You're all probably pretty familiar with this. This is the words of Jesus, Yeshua. And he says, "You are the light in the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." You know, one of the things that light does is it's helpful. Here on a homestead, many of you that kind of live out like we do, you know that light is very important. You probably have numerous flashlights. You may have lights, security lights at different places. You know, it's darker out in the country at night. We don't have city street lights and the glow of a city light nearby or anything like that. So when night falls, it gets pretty dark around here. And especially on nights that there isn't a moon, it can be just difficult to almost see the hand in front of you on some nights. And so having a source of light out here is extremely beneficial. I mean, we all know that light, you know, causes plants to grow. It's healthy and beneficial to us, you know, as absorbing it through our skin. But it's also really good at just being helpful, providing protection, the ability to get around and see things, right? And so I believe part of what he's saying here is that we're supposed to be helpful. That's what light is. Light is helpful. Light's many things, but one of the things is light helps, right? It helps your life. It helps you be able to see in the darkness and see to do things. So I believe that part of what we are supposed to do here on this planet, here in this world, is to be helpful to others, to help when people are down and when people are in need. Paul said in Galatians to bear one another's burdens. And in doing so, you're fulfilling the law of Christ, to bear each other's burdens. There are countless scriptures, and you know, in preparing for this, I was thinking of so many, and I mean, I could have made an entire video of just reading all the different scriptures throughout the entire Bible of how we are supposed to help each other and how we're supposed to do for each other and how we're supposed to be there for those that are in need in times of need and when they're down and all sorts of things. And most of us are aware of those. But it is important for us to remember that while we're out here preparing ourselves, our hearts, our minds, our bodies, for the things that are going on in this world and for the things that are yet to come, we need to remember that a big part of our purpose here, where we're at right now, is to be there for each other, to help each other, to reach out and to bear one another's burdens in a physical sense and in a spiritual and a psychological sense. That's what we're here for. I want to, you know, like I just said, that, you know, we're supposed to bear one another's burdens. And, you know, we also hear that in 1 John, it says, if anyone says, I love God, and hates his brother, he's a liar, right? So if you don't love your brother, then how can you love the Father in heaven? For he who does not love his brother, whom he has seen, cannot love the Father who he hasn't seen, right? So if we don't love our brother, if we don't show them love, if we don't help them, if we are not there for them when they need us, then how can we say that we love the Father? And I can think of many ways to take this. You know, obviously there's that spiritual help. We're there to lift each other up. We're there to pray for each other. We're there to help keep each other in check. We're also there in a physical sense. When they need help, we should be there for them. You know, on this channel, we talk all kinds of stuff about prepping and homesteading. We're at a place we're certainly, most definitely getting to a place to where our survival on every sense, physical, spiritual, and mental, is really going to be dependent upon each other. You know, we need to be in a place that we are willing to help each other, that we're willing to love each other and to show that love through our actions, so that we can be there and help each other out until the Lord comes back, because things are getting that way in this world that we really need to put more focus on that. We need to put aside our differences and realize that what a real brother is. And you might ask, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? Your brother bearing another's burdens, bearing your brother's burdens. You know, how do you know that you love your brother? Jesus kind of answered that. He said, but he replied to the man who told him, who is my mother and who are my brothers? And stretching out his hands towards his disciples, he said, here are my mothers and brothers. These over here, the Baptists. No, I mean over here, the Methodists. I mean over here, the Torah observant. Those are my... No, he didn't say that. He said, here are my mothers and brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother. And while we may have our doctrinal and theological beliefs and differences, and where we believe that we're on the, you know, interpreting and doing things the way that the Father in heaven wants us to do, Jesus said, Yeshua, he said, for whoever does the will of my Father, the will of my Father in heaven, he is my brother, my sister, and my mother. And so as we are preparing our hearts, our minds, and our lives for the spiritual warfare, for the things that are happening in the world around us, we need to continue to remember that we are also here in this world to help each other. Paul said that, you know, if we have an opportunity, he said in Galatians, that when we see an opportunity to do good, that especially to those that are within our faith, that are brothers, that we should take that opportunity and we should do it. And too many times, folks in kind of the preparedness world are looked upon, and sometimes rightly so, as kind of being selfish. You know, we're there just to take care of our own, just to take care of ourselves, and we're going to build our little walls, our little castle around ourselves, and we're going to ride it out to the end. That's really, I don't believe, the way that the Father wants us to be. Yes, we should be preparing ourselves and preparing our lives and our families, but we should also be there for each other and help bear their burdens mentally, spiritually, and physically, because there are many out there in various levels of need. And I think that's a place that all of us have a place to give. You don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to have some knowledge in engineering or medical science or anything else to be someone that you can be there for another person that's hurting and a person that's in need. So as we go about our lives, as we are preparing, getting ourselves honed, ready, preparing ourselves with the full armor of God, we should realize that there are others out there, believers, brothers and sisters, that at times they may need our help, at times that we may need their help, and we should be there for them and bear their burdens and let them to bear ours. I believe that this is a very, very important thing for us to do. And I think too many times we get so caught up in legitimate and worthy things of preparing our lives, of drawing ourselves closer to the Father, you know, getting into the Word and doing the things that we need to be doing, that sometimes we forget that there are others in our family, in our spiritual family, that we might also need to help. And I'm saying all this to let you know that there's been a loss here in our local community. And been on the kind of talking with some different people over the last couple of days. And some of you may know who I'm talking about. And this lady has been in some of the chat rooms and things here on this site, and also over at the Missouri Liberty Alliance. She was very active. And her husband were in the process of moving here to the Ozarks. And it's a lady by the name of Jen Perry, and I have spoken with her husband, and he is, given me the okay to talk about this. She passed away the day before yesterday, and a very sweet and wonderful person. I never had the opportunity to meet them face to face, but have talked with both of them on numerous occasions, and I believe that they were the type of people that you want in your circle. And she has gone on to be with the Lord, and I ask, number one, that you lift Matt up in prayer. They weren't old, they were in my age group, and I know that he is strong in his faith, but losing a spouse that you've been with for many years, and I do know that they were married for many years, is definitely tough. They have older adult children and they have grandkids together, and I don't know all the details there. I'm just putting this out that when you find yourself in your time of prayer, please remember Matt Perry and what he's going through. And for those of you here locally in our kind of Ozark community, it's not right away, but there will be, I would say, within the coming month or two, some work days going to be planned at his place because they were actually in transition of the move, and this happened right in the middle of that. So some of the stuff's kind of been put on hold, but there will come a time that those of us here locally can jump in and kind of help. We may be planning work days or something like that. Right now, he's just, we need to be there for him in spirit. We need to be there for them, for those that if he needs something right now, and then later on when we get to that point and when he gets to that point where he's ready to start doing things on his homestead, I think a group of us would be able to do that and help. So I wanted to put that out there also. There's already been some people requesting or asking about any type of contribution to him, to his family. And after speaking to him, he has asked that if there's any type of monetary contribution that anyone wants to do, that they don't need that or want that. But if you're interested, there is a charity that his wife had worked with for many years, and in fact had requested that people would, if they felt led to, that could donate to this charity in her honor. And so I'll leave a link to that in the description below. It's a good one. It helps. It's there for women and families that have gone through abortions. And so if you feel so led, you can do that. But this is an example of how communities are meant to be. When someone stumbles and falls for whatever reason it is, we have I believe, an obligation and a duty to stand there for him, to lift him up, and to be the strength that he's not capable of being right now. Because for those of you that have gone through great loss in your life, you know that for a time you just may not have the strength to stand on your own. So please remember him in your prayers. His name is Matt Perry, and his family. And remember that is part of, I believe, our great duty while we're here on this earth, is to be there for one another, to shine his light into this world. And part of that shining his light is to be helpful, to be like light is to be helpful to one another. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.